looks like the police is coming up here. All right. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. All right, so what I have behind me is a 2018 Porsche 911 Carrera S. A few words I describe this car: exhilarating, intoxicating, fun to drive. It is all those things, but you won't know until you get behind the wheel and drive one. But as you can tell, this is a 911, and if you're new to Porsches, because this is my second Porsche I review on the channel, is the Carrera S. The S model you know right away because of the red brake calipers. So your horsepower has now went up from 370 to 420 horsepower. You have different transmission options. There's your 7-speed PDK, Porsche Doppelkumpelung. Probably didn't say that right, but that's their dual clutch transmission. And then of course you have your 7-speed manual. I think the PDK is the way to go for these cars. Although I think the purists would prefer, actually I had to wish that the purists would prefer. But this review is going to be more about the drive. I'm going to talk more about the drive than I will on the actual car itself. I'm going to do a quick overview of the car. This one does have a few options. It is sort of more of your purist spec, I should say, because it doesn't have your auto-dimming rear mirror, doesn't have the upgraded sound system, doesn't have the Porsche entry and exit, which is your smart key system, and doesn't have the upgraded headlights. So these headlights are the xenon headlights, which is sort of your standard. These are doing something other than like halogen. I'd rather have at least a xenon at minimum, and of course LED preferred. But yeah, the color is called chalk, and it is a unique color, and I think it does something different than your colors that you used to see, like your Nardo grays and everything else that has sort of been overdone, overplayed out. You know, I'm seeing every Tacoma, every Civic, every Kia now has that special gray that used to be sort of unique when you see that color, you know, the Porsche and the Audis and things like that. And now you see different shades. So anyway, you got, 20-inch wheels up front. These are special exclusive wheels. I think these are a special upgrade for the Carrera S. And I think it's a 6-piston brake up front, 4-piston in the rear. Come out to the back side of the car. You'll have your Porsche Insignia 911 Carrera S back here. And I rented this car from Turo. I was pretty excited to get this rental. I was deciding, which one. I thought, I never tried the Porsche out. And you know what? After being behind the wheel, I see why Tommy L Garage sold his F80 M3 for that yellow 911. Because after being behind the wheel in this car, I am really considering following the same thing. As much as I love my F80 M3, I'm just really starting to really get the feels of this car. So with the options of the Porsche, you can do anything you want. You can just have the insignia delete, where it just says Porsche, or you can just have it say 911 Carrera S. You can do anything you want back here. With the Carrera S, you get the black exhaust tips. And then I think that's pretty much it. I think there's a couple different suspension tunings in here. And of course, when you get in the car, so my seating position in here, when you get into this car, immediately you feel like you're in something low. You're in something like sitting in the capsule. And I got a sunroof in here. Sunroof gives you a little bit more room. Even though there's a sunroof, it does slide up above the car itself instead of tucking in. So you don't lose much headroom. This is, like I said, this is sort of your more of your basic Porsche. Doesn't have adaptive cruise control. None of the features which are available for this car. Heated ventilated seats are also available. Doesn't have it. There's a front lift system you can get available. But like I said, this is close to your pure spec. I think the only thing I would prefer will have the Sport Chrono package, where you get the stopwatch and the launch control. But man, oh man, the way this thing drives, the way this thing performs, the paddle shifters. Now, I've seen Porsches. I always thought, they're cool cars. I've driven a Cayman S. Mom has a Macan GTS, so I'm not unfamiliar with Porsches. I just, 911's always been, your kids, when you're younger, the dream car of having a Porsche. It's like, oh, cool, Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, there's all those cool cars. Let me just be honest with something. Even if you know me on the channel, or if you're new to the channel, I have a 2016 BMW M3 F80 body style, right? The F80 is probably my best handling car. It is fantastic. The precision that the BMW has with the handling, the way that it drives, the way that it grips the road, the dual clutch transmission, how it fires off the gear changes, I thought that was top notch. Then I drove this. And after driving this on a back road, using the paddle shifters, seeing how quick the PDK was, just hearing the roar of the engine, the visceral feeling, it's just intoxicating. And I just wanted to keep going. This was a car that I want to just take out on a weekend. I just want to take it out. That's all I want to do is say, okay, I want to take the Porsche out. I want to just and hit some of my favorite back road. With this, it's a different feeling that I don't get with the F80. And it had me going onto the used market, seeing what I can get for my car. And I was thinking of something like, this car was the first car that makes me want to sell it. Inline six or flat six, turbocharged. This is not the turbo model, but it is a turbo engine. It's just a way to more fuel and obviously get more low in power. 420 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque. This is paired to the 7-speed PDK something, but it's basically their dual clutch transmission. This is probably the best in the game as far as dual clutch transmission goes, and I was not disappointed. This thing is, when it fires up the gear changes, you don't feel it shift. I couldn't believe it. This has enough room to be a good weekend car. I'm not sure how to do this as daily. I will be honest with you, it will probably beat you up a little bit. You do have, damp glove box in here. You have a couple cup holders, for, your passenger. Got one cup holder here. 12-volt outlet right there, using that from radar detector. I think you need it with this car, especially on so many back roads. There's a wireless charger in the center console. The host I rented this car in Turo. Host provided the water and mints for me, brand new in the package, so very nice. You got a USB-C, or sorry, actually no, USB-A port here. You got your different modes. It is a manual. What is this? I'm not sure what that is. It is power seats in here. You see, got the Carrera S logo there. Going into the back seat, you can see here, not much room, maybe for a small child. I wouldn't want to do anything else. I think it's just more for the formality of having a back seat. Power windows, you do have a little spot here for your just whatever you want to do, change or just something. Or it's got a Bose sound system. Power windows, frameless. This had a sunroof in this model. Go over to the wheels. You get 20-inch wheels. This is a 305, 30, 20 in the rear. And we have brakes back here. All right, cross-drilled rotors. Up front, we have 6-piston up front, and then the tire size is going to be 245, 35, 20. So, yeah, I thought there might be 21s in the rear, but yeah, anyway, so 20-inch wheels. It's not much to it. Doesn't have the smart key access. With Porsches, as much money as you pay for this stuff, you have to pay for everything. So you pay for the car, but then you gotta buy the features. And unfortunately, it doesn't come with anything unless you pay for it. So this is the key here. You have your frunk. You have lock, unlock. Let's take a look at that frunk. I'll show you luggage room. Has enough luggage to fit a carry-on size. Opens up like a hood. You have a latch you gotta open up. So pretty deep. I'll show you with the suitcase. It's got enough. This is totally weekend car. I won't want to do this, trip like a week, like a long trip, but say like, a short weekend, maybe one suitcase or a backpack. You can easily fit that in this car. So let's go ahead and open up like a hood, and you see in there. And what I have here is a small, this is your carry-on 22 inch, I think it's a 22, carry-on suitcase. And it drops right in there perfectly fine. I might be able to squeeze maybe one more on top, but yeah, that's how it fits. Or I can do, would it stand up? No, it won't stand up, but it probably lay on the side. So I can do it on the side and then go back there. So that's your luggage room. All right, that concludes this. That concludes this one. Thank you. Got the washer reservoir here and probably brake fluid and something else on that side. So, like I said, weekend trip only. So I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna do what the owner did. Just kind of press gently here in the center, clicked it in. I don't know if I can open the back. I don't think you can see the engines in these cars, but let's take a look anyway. Let's click it open. Let's see what it looks like in here. That's it. So, oil, coolant. That's it. That's all you see back here. There is no working on the engine on this car. You know, you're going to have to go to a certified center to have any work done because you can't get access to the motor. Okay, and that closes up. Does have a deployable spoiler. Spoiler does deploy at speed. I think is 60 miles an hour. It deploys and then it retracts, I think around 20. And then of course there's a button inside the car where you can deploy it manually. Let's get in here real quick. So coming in here, we have power windows. Obviously you got mirrors. I don't think the mirrors are foldable. And then we have automatic headlights. You have, and it looks like the police is coming up here. All right, automatic headlights. Let's see here. And then it's like rain sensing wipers. I can see the sensor up here. So rain sensor. I think he's just sitting here in the parking lot watching me do my review. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay. All right, so now I'm all distracted. So up top, so we get up top, we have your home link for your garage door openers up here. Looks like you disabled the parking sensors right there. I'm not sure if it can detect that or not. But and then that's it. I think the sunroof is all manual. You get the wipers sitting here. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Audi-esque a little bit, just this, the font and everything else. I'm not sure if it's auto. It just says intermittent. So I don't think there's a rain sensing wiper in here. Pretty sure there's an option. Anyway, coming down the center stack, everything's sort of basic here. You got, you know, your home menus, navigation. Just have Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto. Of course, you got your dual zone climate control. Just your PDK shifter here. It's just park, reverse, neutral, drive, and of course you got your manual modes. You can use your paddle shifters anytime you want. Come here, you get door lock button, hazard button. You can deploy your spoiler, auto start stop, and of course you have your sunroof and sunshade button, traction control, suspension, sport mode. There is a CD player, 2018. Well, yeah, you still get a CD player. Okay, cool. So, you know, for those, you know, my age where we had CDs back then, we can still kind of go back and listen to some CDs. All right, inside the center gauges, like I said, you have your key. This is not a smart key or anything, so you need to put the key in here to start the car. And then you turn the car on. You can see it start up, and foot on the brake needs to be on still on with this. So turn the car on. All right, engine fires up to life. And you can see here all different modes. Right now, let me turn this air off. Okay, so the air is controlled this way. Spoiler, sport mode, opens up the exhaust. You can hear the exhaust open up a little louder. Then closes up. Suspension. There is no exhaust button, so I'm surprised. I guess some cars you get this button, sometimes you don't. Then you get the sunshade. And then you can do a tilt roof here. And roof tilts up. Then you can do, obviously, there we go. Let's get it open. And it opens up. So you have a decent amount of room in here. Not too much, but that's pretty much what you get. It's kind of over the roof. But actually, it's not too bad from inside here, considering how small this car is. And that's the max that it opens up as. So in here, how do I cycle through this? Nope. I'm trying to learn this out. There's a way you can change this. Maybe it's over here in this button here. Because this is phone hang up. This is volume control. This is a special function. You save your favorite setting in here. Okay, there we go. So, got your maps. You can put that on the side, as well as you can do it right here. Information. Of course, you get vitals. Got turbocharge information. Water temperature, oil temperature, and I think there's something else. But of course, you get all this manual stuff over here. So, of course, you have oil temp, oil pressure, fuel, water temp on this side of the cluster too. So it's nice to have it digital too, I guess, if you need that. Music information. Is there anything else in here? Yeah, tire pressure monitoring. So I could be driving for that to happen. All right. So you can see the police officer is still sitting there watching me now. And then we have, I don't think there's any auto dimming mirrors. I don't see the ring. I'm not sure if they dim. No, it doesn't dim because I still have the, oh boy, I was surprised that a car like this would have that. But like I say, everything's an option with the Porsche, so I'm not going to just rule it out and say that it's not available. I'm pretty sure it's available. This car doesn't have this feature. Here's the spoiler. I'll show you how it looks on the outside. So here it is with the spoiler extended. And then when it extends, you lose your brake light right there. Now you have your brake light down here. So this is how it looks from behind. Pretty tall once it actually extends. I thought it would be a little bit lower than that. At least from my rearview mirror, I can see a little bit stick up from the rearview mirror. But yeah, that's enough. If it's functional, let me know, guys, in the comments. You may know more than this than me. If this is actually, does it do any extra downforce in here, or just for purely aesthetics? It'd be cool if there is a little downforce at high speeds. I would imagine it has to be, because it's pretty sturdy. All right, so I put the car in the light so you can see a little bit more. And just to give you an idea, when the sun hits this car, you can see it, how the chalk just, it has a different pop on the way it just comes out. Like I said, you get to see it in the shade and the sunlight. I think it's a little different than, you know, the overdone Nardo gray in car, especially every car now. You know, Nardo gray used to be a pretty cool color in my opinion. Don't seem to be exclusive, almost means just being as common as white. And this just sort of is different. It just looks different. It's not as gray, but I think it's still pretty cool. I see why this car is good. There's so many things. This car is amazing. I'm seeing, well, he's hauling. I mean, this thing, right now, I'm not even pushing the curve. I'm just gently going in here, and it feels great. I mean, it's like I'm going 60, and I should be going 30 miles an hour in these curves. And this car's not even breaking a sweat. Let me go hit the suspension and go to sport mode. And 60 miles an hour for a 30 mile an hour curve. Nothing. This car is not even leaning. I'm not even stressing it out. Confidence has went up on this car. It's, man, let's go to manual mode. Oh boy, you get pushback in your seat. Tons of grip. Still these downshifts. That was 3 miles an hour. I mean, this thing just pulls. Oh, man, I'm really enjoying this one. The sound, just intoxicating. This growl that comes out of this car. Ooh, little burbles. Tons and tons of grip. I'm really starting to think that I should sell my car, and I don't want to do that because I love the M3 so much. But this. These cars hold value so well. I don't even know if this is even doable for me, but this just makes my M3 feel sloppy. Let's put it that way. And I say the M3 is bad. I told you how great it is, but when you drive the M3 and go drive this thing, it's just so amazing in the curves. Slow down because I thought I was a Charger, but it turned out to be a Sentra. Every car now that has that black center I always think is a cop. He's like, Accord, Nissan, Charger, you know, but better be safe than sorry. And I can't even push this car as much as I want because I'm on the street. BMW is good. BMW is fantastic, but you haven't seen nothing yet until you drive a Porsche. I had to say that. This is something I want to take on a track. I mean, these back roads, it's just where the car wants to be, a track. 15-mile-an-hour turn. Let's see how fast. I'm just gonna downshift. Look, assess it real quick to see how fast I can take it. Oh yeah, 40 miles an hour. Accelerating. I mean, as soon as I touch the paddle, I mean, just watch this. Man, I can't pull my hand off fast enough before it hits the gear. Guys, I could do this all day long. I could sit here and just hammer this car all day long. If you haven't driven one, there's no way you're gonna grasp what I'm trying to just like catch what I'm trying to throw here. But I'm blown away. I see where the hype is. I didn't think I would like it this much. I made a big mistake renting this thing because now I'm going to want one. I feel like I don't want one. Let's think of it this way. The best comparison, best like thing I could say is, we go back over to comfort mode and kind of calm it down a little bit. Best thing I could say is, when you drive a car, for example, you've always been exposed to a Corolla your whole life. You've always been like, okay, Corolla's a decent car, and you get into a, let's say Accord. You're like, oh, this is great. This is better. Accord, V6 engine or 2.0T, what you want to say. It's a little better. And then you get behind the wheel of BMW M3, and you compare it to the Accord. You're like, there's no way. The M3 handles better, accelerates better, stops better, has better braking. And that's how I feel right now with this Porsche. I know the M3 is a great car, but now jumping to this, it just feels like I've just ruin myself. M3, don't worry, M3 is fun. It's got some character in it. You know, likes to get a little playful sometimes. But I don't know. Well, I know this review is not my typical style, but I had to drive this car. You know, you can make the car as bare bones or as optional if you want, but the reason you buy this car is for this experience, this feeling. So, if you like the review, give me a thumbs up. I'm just gonna think about some things here soon, but I like this. Anyway, thanks for watching.